Welcome back to another tutorial. It's lovely as always to see you. Now today I'm going to use some beautiful white flowers, probably not ones that you will find in the supermarket, and we're going quite slimline and quite elegant and maybe with a bit of a modern touch. So keep watching and see what I can create. My name is Sharon. If you haven't met me before, welcome to my channel. It's lovely to have you back, and today I'm going to create quite a simple arrangement with some gorgeous white flowers. We're going to start in the moment with some Strelitzia leaves. I have some Chinchirinchees. If you haven't seen these before, the head opens into a big cluster of flowers with this tiny little black dot in the centre. And I've picked this variety because it's going to link really well with my container. Now this time it's not a charity shop base, it's one I bought from the florist supplies, and it's a melamine rectangular base. On the base there is a wider section that you can insert your floral foam into. Now if you don't want to use floral foam in your arrangements, then there are plenty of ideas on the channel for using wire netting, also known as chicken wire. So if you want to move on and create something with a more sustainable mechanics, then there are other options on the channel for you to take a look at. So today we're going to use green floral foam. I've wedged probably about 1/3 of a block of foam into the base there. I don't want it too tall because I don't want to overfill this section at the bottom, but I need to create enough, I need enough depth in the foam to create some height. So too low and my design won't be stable and the taller flowers will fall apart. If I put too much foam in, then the base becomes really over heavy because I'll have to fill it with lots of greenery or some moss or something to cover the foam. Ideally, I'd like the edge of my container to be visible because it's quite an attractive container, and it's also going to link really well with the black centre of my gerbera. Okay, so let's get started. A little bit of background on the flowers and foliage that I'm going to use, and you might have noticed that I've placed the tape over the foam slightly to one side, and that's because I'm going to be arranging in the centre and I didn't want to block that centre section. I didn't want to bring the tape from this side to this side because then you'd be able to see it on the corners. So I've just thought before I've started what position my flowers are going to go in to ensure that my mechanics are well hidden. The foam is quite secure in there, but I'm aware that I'm going quite tall, so I wanted to add in some extra stability with the tape. Okay, now if you haven't seen these before, these are Strelitzia leaves, and it's the foliage from the birds of paradise. If you're in a tropical climate, then you might have these growing in your garden. For me, it's an imported foliage, and it's what I would describe as something quite exotic. It's something that we don't see very often here in the UK. I'm not going to go too tall with the foliage, so I've chosen the thinner leaf to be my taller flower, and I'm going to place that roughly in the centre of my foam, about 2/3 of the way back, so I'm not too far backwards that my material is going to fall out, but I've still got plenty of room in the front of my foam to add in my other flowers. And I'm quite straight and I'm quite rigid, and it's almost going to be in a parallel style of arranging. It might not all be parallel, but the huge part of it will be. So the taller, thinner leaf is my first piece of material to go in, and then what I'm going to do is to sit alongside it another of those flat fatsia. It's not a fatsia, it's a Strelitzia leaf, so that we have two different heights so that we don't end the design on a very severe line. And if we look at it from the side, it's slightly brought forward, the larger leaf is slightly brought forward, and it starts to create that depth from front to back. Now my first flower is going to be these lovely Chincherinchee. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's a gorgeous, gorgeous flower. So when it's not open, it's got this small roundish head, but when they mature, they do open up really full, and you'll have a very long lasting flower. It's a great one to use in this style of arranging. I nearly fell over then, which was a little bit wobbly. Now what I want to do is to bring the flower out at the side so you can clearly see the stem. This is roughly what we would probably call a forme linear. It's not a perfect example of a forme linear, but what I don't want to do is to hide the stem. Now in traditional sort of flower arranging, we tend to hide all the stems because we think of them as being quite ugly, but I'm going to leave them visible. It's a very attractive stem. It's a good example of line. It makes your eye move upwards, and I don't want to hide it with lots of greenery, which will give it quite a cluttered feel. So at the moment, we've got two that are branching off onto the one side, and I'm clustering them together because it's a more modern way of arranging. And I'm just for a minute going to work out whether this comes to the front or to the side, and I think I'm going to bring it towards the front. Now, I started by saying this was parallel, and probably my placements of the Chincherinchee there are more of a radial style, so they're more radiating out from the centre. So if my original description didn't confuse you, I've probably made it even more complicated. But what I'm trying to do is keep everything apart. We're not going to clutter everything together. We're not going to have an outline shape. We're going to create something that's emphasis is on the flower head, and almost like a ballerina on a dance floor, you can really appreciate the individual texture and the colour of those flowers. Now my next flower is going to be the gerbera, and it's got a fabulous black centre, so it's going to give me a great link between my base, and these are going to come down on the opposite side. So we've created the right hand side with those chinchirinchees. Now I'm going to start bringing in some gerbera. I'm aiming to have the gerbera quite deep in my floral foam because the stem often gets clogged up with the floral foam itself. So if we push it down as far as we can go in the foam, there's a good chance that the water is well in at the bottom of my container, and there'll be plenty of ability for that gerbera to take up fresh, clean water. So what I'm going to do now is have a look at which way the gerberas are shaped, and I'm going to bring them down on this left hand side of the arrangement. Again, I'm not going to clutter them up. I don't want to prevent you from seeing the beautiful shape and the head of the gerbera. A little bit shorter. This one is a little bit of an unusual shape. It's facing forward at quite a severe angle, and you've heard me say about headlights quite often. It's going to end up looking like two headlights. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to add it in at the base. Because the head is turning upwards, it's going to work much better down low. And I'm going to put it on the opposite side, because then the shape and colour of the gerbera is going to be brought visually from one side to the other. I've got a large lily, which is going to be my focal point here, so I don't want to clog this section. And with my gerberas, I'm aiming to have them on a different height to my chincherinchee, so they're not fighting for attention. Okay, let's look for a couple more gerbera. I think I'm going to go slightly taller with this one. This is a fairly straight shape, so that can tuck in quite nicely to give me an extra bit of height. Just be careful that the head doesn't tip forward, because it gives the impression, and that's exactly what's happened with that one. The head is tipped forward and it gives the design the impression that it's falling forward. So I've just got to work with that a little bit more, get it to lean back. Otherwise the design is going to look like it's top heavy. That's much better there. So now I need to almost keep bringing some gerbera down, so we're linking with the colour on this side here. I try to say it in every video. I don't often remember to say it, but this is just one style of arranging. It's not the only way you can arrange these two types of flowers. You've sometimes got to look at the individual flower heads and the sizes of the flowers and imagine where they're going to be best placed in the arrangement. you might have a different type of flower and they might be shaped in a different position and they're going to work in a different place within that arrangement. So don't think that this is the only way you can make a design. Again, this one's head is angled slightly upwards. So I'm going to bring this one in from the side. Hopefully now you can see there is a lovely link between this top section here and your eye travelling to the right hand side. I don't want to overfill here and here because I want my container to be seen. But what I am going to do now in this area here that I'm sort of calling the focal area is to put a large lily. Now, typically my lily hasn't opened. It's the lily called Eyeliner, and it has a darker sort of tone in the centre. And what I will do is I will leave this here in the studio, and in a day or two, when that lily is opened, I'll take another photograph of it and I can add it in to the editing of the video, and then you'll be able to see how the arrangement is once the lily is opened. It has a sort of reddish brown centre. It's not quite black, but it will help to pick up on the darker tones within the arrangement. So you can see with this one, I've cut it quite short, and I'm going to angle it here towards the front, and that's going to create a stronger focal point for me, and when it opens that's going to be really quite beautiful. Now the temptation at this stage is for me to add another lily in here because there are quite a few gaps, but I've got to remember that once this opens it's going to fill a large gap, and if I put two lilies in there, then when they do open they're going to damage one another and crush, and they're not going to be able to open properly. I am going to slightly move this gerbera. I want it to come out less formally, bring it out from the side so that I've got a nicer sort of swoop from one side to the other. That's better. I just felt that the very straight line of the gerberas didn't complement the side sort of movement of the gerbera at the base. Right, so if we look all the way around to the back, we can see it's flat at the back. I'm not going to add any flowers there at the back. It's a front facing design, so I'm not going to waste any of my bigger flowers, my more important flowers, by putting them in at the back. But what I am going to do is to fill it in with some greenery. And I have these lovely Asidistra leaves, and again, if you're in a hotter country you might have these growing in your garden. You might even have it as a house plant. This is the Asidistra. I'm going to cut it quite short, and I'm going to roll the leaf so the stem end pierces through the middle section of the leaf, so I get a more interesting shape. It also makes that leaf smaller to work with, and it's not going to overfill the sides of my arrangement and make it very heavy and very cluttered. I think I'm going to do it with two pieces, and that will help to cover the foam there at the back. If you haven't got Asidistra, that could just be short pieces of whatever type of foliage you can get hold of. And quite simply, the back of my arrangement is covered. Now I'm going to add a little softness to the arrangement with one of the gorgeous grasses. And here in the UK, we're heading into the autumn, so you might have grasses grown wild in your garden. They might have self-seeded. You might have a meadow near you or some parklands. These are commercially available. These are ones I've bought in, but by all means pop out and have a look at all the different varieties of grasses that are available. And what I'm going to do with these is bring them in on what is my right hand side, and this gives some texture. It's a lovely contrast between the harshness of the Strelitzia leaf at the back, and it just gives a little bit of soft movement and a really interesting shape and texture. A linear form, so it repeats the linear shapes of the design at the back. And for a moment, that's all the flowers that I'm going to put in. I'm now just going to cover my base with some flat leaves that aren't going to detract away from those beautiful flowers. Now at the base, I don't want to go too wide because I'm going to hide that rectangular base. But what I do want to do is to continue the colour and the texture of the Asidistra at the back to the front. So this time I've rolled them. So I've gone round with the Asidistra and I've stapled it together so it's nice and secure. And I'm going to place that down quite low towards the front, and it's just going to pop underneath the gerbera. It is going to cover a little bit of my base, but not too much. And I'm going to work my way round, ensuring that I don't have any of that foam showing, and you get like quite a neat modern effect. So the smaller leaves are better, and the ones that are the most flexible, just roll it round on itself, and then if you've got a stapler or a dressmaker's pin, you can secure it into position so you get that lovely rolled effect. And at the moment I've got 3, and I'm placing them underneath the lily, because obviously that lily is going to open, it needs space to open, so we don't want to fill it in this section here where we're going to impede the opening of that lily. Now I don't want to overfill the middle section there with too many of the larger Asidistra, so I've got some more of the smaller camellia leaves. You might have seen me use these in another arrangement, and the texture is nice and glossy and shiny, but the leaf is much smaller, so I'll be able to tuck these underneath the lily. I keep calling it an iris. I can tuck these down close onto the foam, so we're covering all of that floral foam, but we're still leaving enough room for that lily to open. And I think that's worked really well. So a little bit more of a modern design. I did think it was going to be parallel in its styling when I started, but I think we've probably ended up more radial. It's going to have a brilliant focal point here with the lily, and I have still got the stems of the grass. So the grass here is in this very tall straight stem, and what I'm going to do is just use my nail to bend them, and I'm going to use them as a different shape and a different sort of texture. It's going to give me some 3-dimensional form by creating these interesting angular shapes on one side. So you can see, if I just hold it here, you can see I've done another one, and that's going to work in there quite neatly. I'll do the same with my final piece, and I'm just going to look to see where I think this needs to be. For me, it needs to be a bit taller here at the back, so if I can, I'm going to make this quite slimline. So again, we're repeating the tall linear shape of the foliage there at the back. And I'm going to pop that in that position there. Let's have a quick look how that's come together. Well, I think that's worked really well. I think that's a lovely design. It's quite simple, very elegant. Doesn't use a huge amount of flowers. You would be able to get hold of the lily and the gerbera in your local supermarket, and you could always use gladioli here instead, or if it's the summer where you are, it could be a delphinium. So I hope you've enjoyed that one, a little bit different today. Thank you as ever for watching. Don't forget, if you want to see more videos, then subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to be notified every time I upload a new tutorial. So thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you again soon, and bye for now.